Shalom and welcome to another update of the northern border from Alma Center here in the Galilee. My name is Avraham. I'm here with Sarit, our CEO. And we'd like to recap the past 10 days. It's July 29th. So let's start from the beginning. So July 20th, someone attacks Syria, and a squad is killed, including one Hezbollah fighter. According to all media, Israel attacked, and Israel is expecting, at this situation, is expecting a retaliation
by Hezbollah.
by Hezbollah. Because we know Nasrallah put out their commitment, that he's committed, that every Hezbollah fighter killed by Israel, he'll retaliate. So for the past few days, from the 21st, 22nd, when we understood he's a Hezbollah fighter, there's a funeral in Lebanon. We're waiting for retaliation. Soldiers are brought up to the north, different setup, checkpoints.
Some roads were closed.
Roads are blocked. And we're waiting till Monday afternoon, July 27th. A few Hezbollah fighters attempt to cross the blue line in the area of Shaba Farms. There's no actual fence in that area, so it's not that they have to cut through anything. IDF sees them, fires towards them. According to what we understand today, they managed to run away. And actually the event that's the end of the story. Allegedly, the story's over. We killed the Hezbollah fighter. Hezbollah retaliated, and that's the end of the. Or is it?
I'm not sure. Well, I need to put a few things in the right order. First, Israel, by the Syrian reports, attacked in Syria as part of an ongoing campaign that Israel is having in Syria against the Iranian Hezbollah military presence there. This campaign is aimed mainly against the ammunition that is being brought to Syria from Tehran. This specific attack was next to Damascus. And unintentionally, the Hezbollah fighter was killed during this attack. That's one important thing. Second is that in previous times that Hezbollah fighters were killed in Syria, we had 2 times like that. Hezbollah did retaliate. The first time it killed 2 IDF soldiers, and in the second time the anti-tank missile that Hezbollah launched just missed a few meters the IDF vehicle. 3 missiles. 3 missiles, and they missed the IDF vehicle, and luckily nobody got hurt. The difference of this time is that on the one hand, Hezbollah is denying that they already tried anything. But Hezbollah supporters in Lebanon, though the very complicated situation in Lebanon, are calling Hezbollah to retaliate, to revenge. The mother of the killed fighter of Hezbollah went out to the street in the town of Itit in South Lebanon where they live and gave people candy.
Sweets and candy.
Yes, saying we revenged. She was very proud of Hezbollah revenge. She was covered with the Hezbollah flag, and in the photos, what was interesting, by the way, is that in the photos over there, you can see posters of Khomeini
in the background.
That way you understand exactly what's going on over there.
Connecting Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah in a very...
in one snapshot,
exactly.
Definitely.
So Israel attacks. Looking at El Mayadin, El Mudun, as you said, nothing happened. So if nothing happened, are we still expecting retaliation?
I believe that Hezbollah will continue to try, but bear in mind that we are a day before Eid al-Adha, a very important Muslim holiday, which I'm not sure that Hezbollah would want to escalate the situation during its holiday. And second, again, we had some more reports that maybe there were some issues on the border yesterday as well. So I'm not sure for how long Hezbollah is willing to try. maybe, and maybe I'm optimistic because I'm an Israeli and I live up here, but maybe what we would see is that after a few failed tries, they would stop. Or they would succeed in one of the tries.
Right. We saw in quite a few fake news posts all over the place that they did manage to shoot a tank down and stuff like that. But I guess the failure means we're waiting for something. What about, except for, I understand, the Eid al-Adha holidays, what else in Lebanon affects this question? There's economy, corona. What's the interest? Is he waiting? Because if he retaliates and kills soldiers, that's pretty close to escalate. That can escalate the situation to a completely
Definitely.
different situation. We're used to wars in the summer.
That's very sad to say. We used to wars in the summer. Look, I should put it this way. Lebanon is in a great crisis today, a great economic crisis. And even myself, for me, it was not easy to accept the fact that it's a real economic crisis, because I've been hearing that Lebanon is in economic crisis in decades. But this time it's different, because this time international assistance is not getting in. The International Monetary Fund is not passing the assistance, and for the first time actually saying, Lebanon, you didn't do what you had to do, you didn't fulfill your commitments, and we are not passing the aid. And the commitments were to disarm Hezbollah, part of the commitments, to have reforms in economy, to stop the corruption. All of that didn't happen. So the internal situation in Lebanon is very vulnerable. Now, many people would claim that this is a restraint of Hezbollah. But I would claim not necessarily. Because if Hezbollah wants to draw the attention to something else, it may...
There's a great enemy in the south.
It may cause just the opposite. And to have a growing interest to raise the tension in the south, between Israel and Lebanon, and that way draw the attention from the fact that people have not enough food, not enough money, lack of cash, not enough jobs.
Government failure,
and actually blaming Israel for all of that, which of course Israel is not connected for all of that, to all of that. So this is when we speak about problem inside, and I must say that when I'm trying to compare what is happening today to what happened in 2006,
14 years ago,
in 2006, the assessments in the IDF were that in the strategical level in the IDF were, don't worry, everything is fine, they don't want war. They are in a big problem now. There is a huge demand from international community and internal community in Lebanon to disarm Hezbollah. Hezbollah is under pressure, it's not interested in war. And we have learned that the rationality of Hezbollah is different than our rationality.
Now, we actually publish a lot of things that Hezbollah is not the boss. How does Iran come into this question? I mean, we attacked ammunition in Syria, but it's Iranian, and the militias are Iranian. So is Iran putting pressure? Can Iran be the cause of this escalation?
I think that if Iran would put the pressure, we may see something a little bit different, but maybe Iran share the interest with Hezbollah to raise the attention around the border. This may be happening. Yes, we see also economic problems in Iran. We see also the COVID-19, by the way, in Iran and in Lebanon. And we see the explosions in Iran. So when we look at all of that, again, to our rationality, this is supposed to be a restraining factor. But I think that to the Iranian rationality, it is actually a factor that encouraged them more to draw the attention to something different.
Something radical.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we can put it like an equation that the retaliation to the cyber attacks against the nuclear capabilities in Iran and infrastructures in Iran would be this specific small attack on the Israeli-Lebanese border.
But they did threat to retaliate.
But they did threat to retaliate. And again, any action by Hezbollah should be coordinated and subordinate to the Iranian interest, no doubt about that.
All right, so we'll sum it up with that. We're still awaiting for maybe the last chapter of this instance, this tension. We hope they celebrate Eid al-Adha and enjoy their time, their vacation. That's it. That's
Yeah, I truly wish the Lebanese have
yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right, so be safe, be good. Shalom from Alma.